Now, it is my amazing honor to address all of you. Good afternoon, and thank you for the trust you have placed in me to serve as the 45th President of CNA. Now that you've gotten to know me a little better over these past 2 years, you know that saying thank you is important to me. So please let me begin that way. I could not be here today without the support of my employer, Ontario Shores Centre for Mental Health Sciences in Whitby, Ontario. To my CEO, Glenna Raymond, whom I'm proud to say is a registered nurse, and to Deputy CEO Corinne Mandami and all of my colleagues there, I extend my most heartfelt thanks and appreciation. And surely you won't mind if I wave to the Ontario Shores nurses here with us today. Hi. I'm so proud of them. And on that note, one of them is sending back newsletters back home. And I saw the one for today. And you know that scene of me on the stage last night dancing behind Cher? Apparently it's the blackmail photo. I was nominated 2 years ago by the Community Health Nurses of Canada, and so to them, I express my abiding thanks for your support and our shared path over these years. Judith, thank you so much again for your leadership, your unwavering belief in nurses, nursing, and CNA. You have been inspirational. Dr. Karima Velji, I warmly welcome you to your role as President-elect and look forward to our partnership and shared journey ahead. To CNA CEO Rochelle Bard, COO Anne Sutherland-Bowl, and all of the CNA staff members, you have my profound thanks and respect for your efforts on behalf of Canada's nurses. I have witnessed your extraordinary commitment and expertise in action as you tirelessly advance CNA's work and outcomes. It is a privilege to be working with you. And finally, thank you to each and all of the CNA Board of Directors and advisors. I am honored to work with you and excited about the journey that is about to begin. My speech is about CNA. Unashamedly, unapologetically, it is about CNA. Why? Because CNA matters. Because it unifies us, inspires us, teaches us, gathers us, mobilizes us. That is what I have experienced over these last few days in Vancouver. Did you? Together, we have participated, debated, reflected, and celebrated. From the amazing work of the Expert Commission on Health, released here on Monday, to a record number of resolutions on topics including staff mix and quality of care, nursing education, and advocacy on social policy, we have seen nurses in action, and I salute you as active and engaged movers and shapers of nursing and healthcare. Moving and shaping healthcare and our profession is what nurses have done since 1908, when CNA began. Indeed, as we are reminded in the book, The Leaf and the Lamp, which tells the history of CNA, recognition of nursing as a profession was made possible by the formation of CNA as an organization capable of exercising professional responsibilities. And we are further reminded that the essential purpose of professional nursing is to contribute to the fullest extent made possible by nursing science to the care of people and communities in sickness and in health. We have seen that essential purpose fully enacted at this CNA AGM and Biennial Convention. History has recorded CNA's signature achievements in nursing education, regulation, employment, and Medicare. Achievements accomplished through nurses' vision and determination. How did those achievements become possible? Because CNA gathered nurses together from coast to coast to coast, fused their collective vision and determination into action, and gave nursing a voice that now represents over 147,000 registered nurses, the largest group of healthcare providers in our country. CNA may be 104 years old, but examples such as our work with the premiers of our country through the Council of the Federation and the unprecedented efforts and outcomes of the Expert Commission on Health are powerful evidence that CNA is as relevant, as effective, and as needed as ever. To quote again from The Leaf and the Lamp, there can be no conclusion to the efforts of an active profession committed to the progress of the service it provides and the members who provide it. In my election speech 2 years ago, I stated that the formation of the Canadian Council of RN Regulators and the withdrawal of the College of Registered Nurses of BC from CNA created a defining moment for CNA. I am glad to be able to stand here today and extend my thanks to CRNBC for the supportive conclusion of their withdrawal discussions, which enable every RN in BC to remain a member of CNA. And we have all been inspired by the outstanding achievements of the Association of Registered Nurses of BC in such a short time. Moreover, I am excited about the new connections being established between ARNBC and CRNBC. But as we know from the reports tabled during our AGM, there are new challenges ahead. For example, CNA must navigate the impact of the loss of the CRNE, work with the College of Registered Nurses of Manitoba to ensure the continuance of the relationship between the College, CNA, and the Nurses of Manitoba under the new provincial health legislation, and engage in a membership model review and approval process in order to be compliant with the new Canada Not-for-Profit Corporation Act. And we cannot continue as a corporation unless we are compliant with that new act. What will guide us at this defining moment for CNA? I suggest what will guide us is no different than what guides us when we are caring for a patient, client, or resident. We first identify the desired outcome and go from there. What is the desired outcome for CNA at this time of evolution? For me, it is a strong, dynamic, and sustainable CNA, our national professional association. With a strong and sustainable CNA, we can advance social justice and achieve the health system transformation envisioned by our National Expert Commission on Health, and we will. During my presidency, I will focus on sustainability, context, and the Commission. Sustainability for CNA is at the top of my list. At this time of its evolution, CNA needs new ideas, new ways of working with nurses and stakeholders, and new business models so that it remains sustainable, shines as a beacon for all nurses in Canada, and acts and advocates for our publicly funded, not-for-profit healthcare system. All that we do must drive towards those outcomes. Context is my second item. The context of care for nursing is society at large and the workplace. From the societal perspective, it is well accepted that the social determinants of health, including poverty, education, housing, and employment, are key influences on health. Indeed, the Expert Commission reinforced this yet again in their report and in their presentations. And we especially heard that Canadians are expecting us, well, when I think about the presentations by Maureen McTeer and Gina Brown, I would actually say demanding of us that nurses take a strong, visible, vocal leadership role as champions for better health from the vantage point of the broad determinants of health as well as healthcare delivery. I am committed to being a vigilant and outspoken advocate to further advance social justice and health equity. The workplace is the context of care for nurses, and I am mindful about what gets in the way of great workplaces for nurses. Things like care delivery and staff mix models that don't reflect evidence-based decision-making, difficulty for our new graduates in finding full-time employment, lack of flexibility in employment models for late career nurses, bullying or horizontal violence within nursing teams, and the workload of clinical managers. These factors contribute to the times, thankfully few in number, but nonetheless devastating, when the quality of nursing care doesn't meet the needs and expectations of families. We cannot let that happen. At Monday's Middle Manager Luncheon, we heard many ideas about how CNA can support nurses aspiring to be managers or already working as managers. The ideas included formally linking new managers to mentors, conducting a national inventory of leadership development programs and initiatives, and disseminating information about conferences and funding sources. With regard to conference attendance, I want to commend all who sponsored or enabled delegates to attend this biennial convention. Thank you. And because it is so important to enable such attendance, I'm pleased to tell you about a pact that Ella Ferris, VP and Chief Nurse at St. Michael's Hospital in Toronto, and I have made. In our roles as chief nurses, we committed to ensuring that we bring at least one frontline nurse with us to every relevant conference we attend. Okay, the rest of you chief nurses out there, I issue you a challenge to join us. And I also have another challenge to make. It is inspired by what we witnessed here in BC, as each of 38 individual nurses from BC carried one of BC's 38 electoral votes. 38 for 38. Nursing democracy in action. I urge all jurisdictions to begin today to plan to have one nurse for one vote in the 2014 CNA biennial. Partner with employers, partner with CNEs, so that those they sponsor can be voting delegates. Partner with our nursing foundations, partner with other sponsors. Pass motions at your jurisdictional boards. Find the financial resources needed, and let's keep nursing democracy strong and flourishing. Context also encompasses the practice expertise we bring to our nursing care. One of the highlights of these past few days for me was spending time with some of the groups that form the newly named Canadian Network of Nursing Specialties. As I listened to their annual meeting deliberations and heard about their work and outcomes, I saw the power of membership in action. But I also heard the worry they expressed over declining membership and scarce funding and infrastructure. My message is about membership. Please be sure that each of you belong to at least one of our groups, and please encourage others to do that. I salute the vision and vibrancy these groups demonstrate for their specialty practice areas, and I commit to achieving the engagement strategy recently approved by the CNA Board of Directors. Another group of stakeholders that I want to acknowledge are retired nurses. Some of you are here today. Thank you to the many retired nurses that have spoken with me over the past 2 years. You told me that you want to stay involved and engaged in the profession to which you devoted so many years and so much of yourselves. So to all of you, please know I am committed to working with the CNA team to find a way for you to do that. Lastly, I want to acknowledge registered psychiatric nurses and licensed practical nurses, known in Ontario, of course, as registered practical nurses. Our collective efforts have been strong over the years, most recently resulting in the development and publication of the Staff Mix Framework for Quality Nursing Care. You know, I have worked with these nurses from all those three groups during my career, and I can tell you that there is a common bond that joins us all, and that is a dedication to nursing and the care of our patients, clients, and residents. I look forward to new opportunities to work together. My last area of focus is the Commission, namely to turn the work and recommendations made by CNA's Landmark Commission on Health and Healthcare into action. I know that all of you, after having commissioned and championed the work of the Commission, would never allow it to sit on a shelf. We are going to apply the power of the collective voice of nurses to action that report. Well, it is almost time to close. Let me first say that the energy, the commitment, and the connection I feel after these 3 days is off the scale. And many of you have told me you feel it too. Let's not forget this energy, this enthusiasm, this connection, and this strength. Let's take it and all we have learned during this convention back to our colleagues and our workplaces. Let's use it to make our workplaces better, our teamwork better, and our nursing care of our patients, clients, residents, and communities exemplary. Finally, I must end this speech by reflecting on how amazing it is for me to begin this new role here in Vancouver amongst my former BC colleagues. I continue to cherish the time I spent here. But there is another reason that it is amazing that this 2012 Biennial Convention has been here in Vancouver, and that is because of the gift Vancouver gave to Canada and the world through the 2010 Winter Olympics that you hosted. It seems to me that there is a special message for our profession at this time of our history that was conveyed in the words of the Olympic theme song, I Believe. Now let me quickly reassure you, I'm not going to sing. I will just remind you of a few of those words, and you will understand my one-word addition. I believe in the power that comes from a nursing world joined together as one. I believe together we'll fly. I believe in the power of you and I. I do with all my heart. Thank you.